Hello and welcome to the Gunpla Network. I'm your host Zeta Kai, and this time we're going to be looking at these. These are the high-grade Universal Century Revive 21st Century Real-Type Version model kits. And to understand what these kits are and why they were created, we need to go back in time, all the way back to the early 1980s.
Gundam の世界からリアルモデルへの革新を開いたバンダイプラモデルシリーズ。Presented by Bandai.
In 1980 through 1982, Gundam was becoming popular again. After being canceled and having kind of a false start, they started to become more and more popular in Japanese culture. And they were beginning to blossom into the mega franchise they would become over the next few decades. Bandai, in an attempt to cash in on the craze, started to produce plastic model kits, Gunpla, in 1980.
Hello, I like money.
They made model kits of basically every mobile suit, vehicle, and ship seen on screen, along with many others that were just concepts or maybe were designed but never animated in order to squeeze every last drop out of the very popular craze of building Gunpla. While all this was happening, the cool thing to do if you were a Gunpla builder at the time was to try to make your plastic model kit look as realistic as possible. In fact, a lot of Gunpla builders were inspired by the artwork of Kunio Okawara when he produced oil paintings for the theatrical releases that depicted the mobile suits in more realistic colorations. Toned down colors, extra details, a more real-world approach to the classic mobile suit designs that he created. Much like today, Gunpla builders at the time loved the realism depicted in these paintings and artwork, and tried to imitate that as they built their Gunpla model kits. Bandai, seeing this in an attempt to cater to these hobbyists and for the reason of
money,
decided to start this line. And this is the 1/100th real type color model kit line. Here's a promo for that.
ジオン開発工場では量産型モビルスーツの最終テストが繰り返されていた RX78 ガンダムパーフェクトコレクション機動戦士ガンダムバンダイのプラモデル
And kind of a cycle of art imitating life, imitating art, imitating life. This model kit line was very popular, and it grew and grew and grew, growing to include mobile suit variation designs done by Okawara for a canceled project in 1983, MSVs. Slight variations in color and accessories that looked a little bit different, and Bandai could make a little more money out of them. So if you think that Bandai throwing out endless variations of color with slight variations on accessories or the way a certain kit or mobile suit is designed is something new, well, you're wrong. They've been doing it almost literally since the inception of Gunpla 40 years ago. So we're going to go from there, and we're going to fast forward to the year 2016. In the year 2016, Meijin Kawaguchi, the Gunpla Meister, the master, the ambassador to the world for Gunpla, helped oversee and commission these model kits, these 21st century real-type version model kits. And notice what an excerpt from the press kit for the original release of these says. This product was designed with primary color configurations toned down, and a color distribution that allows the many modelers who experimented with the real type color in the 1980s to continue to freely express themselves. Translation: we are paying homage to old Gunpla fans by cashing in on the nostalgia. And that's what these kits are. So let's take a look at the model kits and what makes them so special. Each one of these has something very special and unique that you're not going to get anywhere else, and we'll take a look at these in a moment. First thing you're going to notice is the box art, again looking a lot like those oil paintings from Okawara. This side of the box has the same shot for each kit: the Gundam, the gun cannon, and the goof or gof. And this side has that old style font looking like those old 1980s kits. If we turn it around on this side, we see each kit in basically the same pose, showcasing all of the extra markings, the special coloration, and in some cases, the unique little details to each one of these kits. Now, I mentioned that the box art kind of looks like those oil paintings, and it does. In fact, the one for the goof right here is exactly like one of the promo pieces for the theatrical releases. And the other ones are done in the style, kind of a blend of that old art style and exactly what you saw if you bought those old 1/100th real type color kits. Now, actually, if you take notice to this, these aren't paintings. These are actually photos of the model kits and then digitally altered to look like oil paintings. As we look over the details in a little bit, you'll be able to see that these are actually pictures of the model kits inside. Speaking of the model kits inside, let's open up the boxes. But first, a note from our sponsor. If you're looking for kits like this, if you're looking for maybe special Gundam base exclusive items, rare FW Converge or other figures, P Bandai releases, or maybe something really weird like this 1/60th scale model kit of the machine that makes model kits, may I suggest checking out side7exports.com and using our coupon code Gunpla Network 10 at checkout. So first up is the MS7 Gof or Goof. You'll hear me pronounce it both ways. So like I said, this artwork is exactly the same as that promo artwork. The red lettering down here says the Dodai is not included, so you're going to have to supply your own little flight stand for the goof to stand proudly on. But let's open up the box and see what's inside. So we have these very different colors. You have a sand, you have a polycap runner, you get the really cool effect parts from the goof, black for the feet, the cool little heat rod or heat whip, a nice army kind of green for a lot of the armor. More armor bits here. Not a whole lot to see. If you've seen the Revive kits, the same parts are here. Now the interesting thing is, and they noted this in the press release, this has a metallic flake to it. It's a gunmetal, and each one of the kits has one or two runners that are this gunmetal-y flake part, because that was the cool thing to do back in the day. Here's where we get into the interesting things. This is a sheet of water slide decals, and a sheet of water slide decals is included in each one of these kits. They're super finely printed in that traditional Bandai style, and they have high quality, small, minute little details, and they can reproduce those old school looking markings all over the kits. The manual is exactly the same as the Revive, but you do get this extra sheet telling you where to apply all of those water slides. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to look really rad when you're done. An interesting thing about the goof is you have some instructions on the back, basically telling you can build a regular left hand. Instructions to do that aren't included in the regular manual, and a little thing about putting the decal on the eye because it is technically different from the standard goof Revive. Next up is the gun cannon, and you'll notice it doesn't have the big cannons. It has the missile pod backpack, so that's cool. That's not included in the regular Revive. We'll show you that in a moment as we open up the box and take a look at what's inside. The first thing you'll notice in this kit is you get some of those gunmetal-y flake colors. This has a name. It's like Hagikoro, the traditional metallic look to the inner frame. It was cool then, and it's cool today. A very off-white. Here's the missile pod. The B1 runner for the regular gun cannon Revive doesn't contain the missile pod. A nice maroon color, very, very deep, rich maroon instead of that bright, bright red. And the impressive water slides. Just figured I'd show these off. You can drink in the details. It's really hard to pick up on camera just how finely printed these decals are. They are super, super high quality. They're going to look great on the model kits. Just like the goof, the Gun Cannon Revive manual is the same, and just like the goof, you get extra sheet here telling you where to put those decals. On the back, there's extra assembly instructions for the missile pods because they are not included in the standard release of the kits. So you get instructions on those. Last and not least is the RX-78 Gundam. Not the RX-78-1, not the RX-78-2, the RX-78. So you have the black and the red with lots of the green. And this is where that kind of green look, if you've ever seen it before, most of this is going to be reproduced via those water slides. In fact, all of that green color will be reproduced via the water slides. A beam saber effect, tree, a runner of gray armor instead of white armor, another runner. I believe this runner has a little bit of metal flake in it, some polycaps, a very weird looking multicolor runner, some very yellow eyes, a brownish color instead of a red, and a very deep tan almost, very little yellow in the vents. A little foil sticker sheet and those water slides. These look really good. I'm super excited to make the Gundam most of all. Now the Gundam actually doesn't include any extra parts that aren't included in the regular Revive release. Unlike the GU for the gun cannon, there's nothing extra except the water slides. So yeah, basically that's what all is entailed in these kits. I don't really have a plan to build these up and review them very shortly. I have a lot of other things on my plate coming for the Gunpla network, but I thought it would be really cool to take a look at these, show you what they're like, and hopefully inform your decisions. Another reminder, if you like kits like this, if you like weird, rare things, don't forget to check out Gus at Side 7 Exports. Click subscribe down below for more videos like this. Let us know what you think about this type of video. I'm really interested in all the esoteric lore of Gunpla and the early history of Gundam, and I'd love to share it with all of you. So thanks for watching, and as always everyone, keep building and respect your elders.